Hello and welcome to the Sewing Studio. Today I'm going to show you how to make a mix and match quilt using up all your scraps and your odd bits of jelly roll. So I've got all these bits of batik jelly roll left over from other projects, and the beauty of batiks is they do all tend to go together, and because they're all bright colours it doesn't really matter. So the quilt behind me has been made up using strips and half square triangles. So you could make this your own. You could do it just using strips from jelly rolls, or if you've got scrap pieces of batiks, you can cut them into squares and do half square triangles. So it's a really great way of using up all your scraps. So I've got 2.5 inch strips left over from the jelly roll, and I have cut these strips to 8 inches. And I've got 4 to do each block. So first of all, I'm just going to sew those together. So we're going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to put those together. So I'm just going to join them together, right sides together, but with batiks it's quite difficult to see which is the right side. So I always say, well, if I can't tell which is the right side looking this closely, I don't think it really matters. But if you're using your scraps, you're going to put your right sides together and you're going to join these using a 1/4 inch seam. Just going to do a bit of chain piecing here to make life easier. So I've left my needle in. I'm just going to pick up the next one, join those two together. And I'm going to sew one pair and another pair together. It doesn't matter what order you do this, it doesn't matter what order you have your colours. It makes it more interesting if you mix them up a bit. We're going to go back over to the iron and I'm just going to press those now. So I'm going to set my seams and I'm going to press them flat. I'm going to press them all going the same direction. So that's one of our blocks. And then when we come to put them together, as they are in the quilt behind us, they go one going horizontally and one going vertically. So the next one would be horizontal and the next one vertical and so on. So I might just turn that round, just have a play with the colour. So now I'm going to go over and show you the quilt, how the blocks have been put together and what you can add to it to make it as big as you want or as small as you want. I'm deliberately not giving you the measurements of the finished quilt today because the idea is that you make it as big or as small as you want depending on how many scraps you've got and what you want to use up. So on this quilt we've got 5 rows of the blocks that I've just shown you. So we've got 5 going across and we've got 5 going down, and as I showed you, the first block goes horizontally, then vertically, then horizontally, and then it's repeated in the opposite direction here. So you could just stop at that and have that as your lap quilt. If you've got more scraps to use up, you can put another board around it. And this quilt's been loaned to us by Julie from Kerno Quilters, and she's done a little red fillet here. Then she's put a 2.5 inch border and 2.5 inch cornerstones. So again, you could stop there if you wanted to and call that your finished quilt. But if you wanted to go bigger and you've got more scraps, she's then put on half square triangles or made into pinwheels. If you look at our previous videos, you can see that we've done one on pinwheels, and I'll show you on that how to make a pinwheel. So if you've got lots of scraps, you can do half square triangles, you can make them into pinwheels, and then you can make that as your next border. So you can see how this is getting bigger, and it can be as big or as small as you want it to be. And then finally, she's done this beautiful scrappy binding using up every last piece of fabric. And I think that's absolutely stunning. The quilting is a wavy line using a variegated thread, and the wavy line goes through the boxes across like that and down like that. And then she's done wavy lines in the border to make a feature of it, and a wavy line down the centre of her half square triangles. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. So you could do that in any fabric, you could do it in batik or any scraps that you've got, and just make it as big or as small as you want. Make it your own. As always, thank you for watching, have fun, and I look forward to seeing you next time here in the sewing studio.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a button just to my left. If you've got any questions, we're happy to answer those in the comments below. And for all your patchwork and quilting needs, head on over to the sewing studio. We have an amazing array of patchwork and quilting products, and all of the relevant links are in the description below. Look forward to seeing you next time.